Monday Night Raw starts off with Gunther. He ends up cutting a really short, really good promo. He basically ends up saying that he tapped out John Cena and he made him tap out like a bitch. That's really all he needed to say because he really couldn't get much of many words out due to the crowd booing him. But this is exactly what we need. We need a nuclear heel Gunther. This is exactly what we needed, him getting the most heel heat as possible. And I love this segment. Then he ended up going backstage, getting confronted by different wrestlers that are upset that he made Cena tap out. It was one moment where he confronted AJ Styles and ended up doing a "You Can't See Me" to him, which I thought was hilarious. Potentially teasing Gunther's next feud, potentially him retiring AJ Styles, which I wouldn't mind, which I would actually love. But this is what I kind of hope that they do with Gunther, make him the next big heel. He should go on a dominant run, in my opinion. He should go on an extreme dominant run. He needs to be unbeatable. This is what you need to do with the momentum of retiring the greatest of all time, John Cena. You need to book him like a dominant force. He should not be losing any matches. He should be damn near unbeatable. Honestly, if I'm booking this, I would have him beat Cody Rhodes. I will make him go to SmackDown and defeat Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed Championship. If you need someone to beat your face of the company, no one is a better choice than Gunther right now, in my opinion. That's what I would do personally. Now, I know that's a crazy scenario, but just saying, if you want to do something big with Gunther, have him beat Cody for that Undisputed Championship, in my opinion. But nonetheless, this was very short, nothing too major, but I really love what they did with Gunther. Hopefully they can continue this and don't ruin it because Triple H can fail to capitalize on momentum. He done it with plenty stars before, done it with the New Day, with their heel turn, done it with LA Knight. So let's hope he doesn't ruin this, but he's very high on Gunther. Gunther's one of his guys, so I doubt he does, but we'll see how this plays out. Afterwards, we do end up getting a quick segment with the Kabuki Warriors and Rio. Rio was making their entrance. They end up getting attacked by the Kabuki Warriors. Asuka ended up hitting Rhea Ripley with the miss, and then they end up getting the upper hand. Um, this was whatever to me. I honestly just don't care about this feud that much, mainly because we have already seen the peak of this feud, and they're kind of slowing down when it feels like WWE doesn't really care about this feud anymore. If I'm being honest, it's like it's fine, it's whatever. I don't hate it, I don't love it. It's just whatever. I'm just kind of ready for this feud to be over with because at this point it just feels dragged out. And anytime when Rhea Ripley and Io Sky have a match, they always win. So it's like, I'm just kind of ready for this feud to be over with. Like, it just feels dragged out. It just feels like they're just dragging it just to prevent Rhea and Io to go after the World Championship. That's what I'm getting from this personally. They don't even tease the Kairi Sane, betraying Asuka. They don't even tease that anymore. So it's like, I really don't care for this, to be honest with you. It's whatever. It just kind of feels rinse and repeat. It feels like nothing's really evolving. It feels like we're just staying stagnant with the storyline. We'll see how this all plays out, but for me personally, I just don't care anymore. We do end up getting a women's Intercontinental Championship match between Maxine Dupree, Ivy Now. I enjoyed this match. I thought it was a really good match. Ivy Now did tap out to Maxine Dupree in the ankle lock, which I did like. They're showing Maxine Dupree improving in ring. They're showing her being a different type of wrestler, being her a more approved wrestler, showing her that she's not the same wrestler that she was before. I like what they're doing here. I hope they continue to have her have matches because that's one of my biggest fears with this IC title now that it's not on Becky Lynch, that they're not going to showcase it. They're not going to give it story. They're just going to treat it like the US title on SmackDown. I'm hoping they continue, give her matches, give her some story, a potential feud eventually, but I like what they're doing here so far. So I hope they continue. Hopefully we could get Natalya eventually, get her involved since she is training Maxine Dupree, get her involved. They was telling the whole friendship storyline at one point with them being a tag team at one point. You could easily tell that story. That could potentially be her first feud against a heel Natalya. Bring her gimmick that she's been using in AAA and stuff. You could bring that gimmick as well. So we'll see how this all plays out, but I like what they're doing with Maxine Dupree so far. We get a quick CM Punk promo, and this promo was great. He basically ends up mentioning War Games, mentions Braun Breaker talking trash about him for the 2 weeks that he was on Raw. He mentions that, yeah, he got the pinfall at War Games, but he needed his friend's help and that he can't beat him without the vision. And then he ends up mentioning his father, mentioning his uncle. This was a really great promo. He ends up mentioning AJ Lee, mentioning how Braun Breaker should not mention his wife. This was great. This was a great promo. Really excited for their match. I am hoping that Braun Breaker wins that match. No offense to CM Punk. I love Punk, but we need Braun Breaker with that world title, in my opinion. I just think it would just be more entertaining. But very interested to see how this all plays out. This was a great promo nonetheless. Very interested to see how they have Braun Breaker respond. Now, he did attack CM Punk at the end of the show, but I hope next week we get another promo segment with Braun Breaker confronting CM Punk. Potentially a fake. Nah, they can't have a promo battle because CM Punk would eat Braun Breaker alive if they have a promo battle. So yeah, keep them away from each other when it comes to promo battles. But in separate segments, I hope Braun Breaker does respond. But nonetheless, this was a really great promo. This got me actually hyped for the actual match because before I wasn't really hyped for it, to be honest. It was just whatever. I was just hoping that Braun Breaker wins, but I'm actually excited for this match due to this promo. This was a really good promo. We get a Women's World Heavyweight Championship match between Stephanie Becker and Raquel. This was a really good match, but it does ends in a DQ due to Nikki Bella. This makes sense due to what happened last week with Raquel attacking Nikki Bella, taking the opportunity away from her. So it looks like this is potentially going to lead to like some type of triple threat eventually with the three. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I think Nikki Bella should be more in the mid card against Maxine Dupree, in my opinion, but she's in the main event. Um, I don't mind it to a degree because it does make sense from a storyline perspective. I was hoping Raquel would win this match, but I knew she wasn't going to win. I'm just kind of over Stephanie Becker as champion because it's very obvious what they're doing. They're just holding off on Stephanie having any real feud until Rhea Ripley and Io Sky are done with the Kabuki Wars. That's really what they're doing. They're just waiting until the Royal Rumble so that way she can have her contender for the WrestleMania. It's clear that they want her as a Mania match. It's so obvious at this point. I wish Raquel would have won because I think Raquel, the world champion, will create an interesting story, especially with Liv Morgan and Roxanne right there. You can tell that story, but it's clear that they're going to run Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Stephanie, one either a triple threat or a 1v1 between those three. So we'll see how this all plays out. Stephanie will beat both Raquel and Nikki Bella if it is a triple threat match. But nonetheless, we'll see how this all plays out. Don't really care for it that much. I care for Raquel because I'm very interested to see what they do with her. But nonetheless, we'll see how this whole Stephanie world title picture between the three plays out. Then we get the main event. Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. I'm not going to go in depth of the match. The Masked Man ended up helping Logan Paul pick up the victory. And then we end up getting the reveal of the Masked Man. And it ends up being Austin Theory. Austin Theory is the Masked Man with a new haircut, which is terrible, by the way. I don't know why he cut his hair. That's just, no. I don't know why he cut his hair. But Austin Theory is the Masked Man. Don't know why they did it on this show, to be honest with you. I feel like if you was going to do it on this show, why didn't you just do it at Survivor Series? Or you could have just waited to January 5th. Don't know why you did it on this show. Very weird. Since Austin Theory is the Masked Man, this does raise questions. Why is he helping the Vision? What is his motivation? Does he want to get in the group? Does he have some type of vendetta? Like, what is the goal with Austin Theory revealing himself, and what is the end goal here? Is he going to be a part of the Vision, which would make the most sense in this scenario? Because if the Vision don't accept him, it just wouldn't make sense for him to do all this. But I'm interested to see where this goes. I hope the story lands because Austin Theory has tremendous amount of potential. The fact that they just got rid of the whole Grayson Waller Austin Theory storyline never paid that off. So this is something that hopefully gets a huge payoff. Hopefully it makes him to a star because Austin Theory has tremendous amount of potential. One of the most underrated wrestlers that they have. So I hope this actually elevates him. Punk ends up coming out, gets distracted by Austin Theory, and ended up getting speared by Braun Breaker, holding the World Heavyweight title. So we'll see how this all plays out. Overall, Raw, it was a solid episode overall. A lot of moving pieces, but you guys let me your overall thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, that's it.